My child, I whispered your name today. Not out of habit, not as background noise to eternity, but with purpose, with weight, with fire. I whispered it because I saw you searching beneath the surface, wondering if anyone truly sees you. I do. I always have. This message is not just for your ears, it's for your spirit. It's a divine encounter wrapped in words. So I command you, do not look away. Do not scroll past. Do not silence what your soul was born to hear. I have aligned this moment with precision. The next few minutes carry answers you've prayed for in secret. Distraction will try to steal you. But what I am about to speak could shift everything. What if the next whisper was the one that set you free? What if the line you skipped was the line that would have broken the chain? Stay until the end. Hear every word I carved with my own voice. Because if you walk away, you may never realize how close heaven just came. I am about to remind you why I breathed your name into existence. My child, do you hear it? That still, soft stirring deep within your soul, that gentle pull in the quiet of your heart. That is my whisper. Do not mistake its softness for weakness. For though I do not raise my voice to reach you, I command the very wind and waves with a single breath. My whisper shakes foundations. My whisper resurrects what was thought dead. I do not shout like the noise of the world that demands attention. I draw near, and in my nearness, I speak low, so you lean close. I want you near. I whisper not because I am distant, but because I am within you. Let your spirit listen now. Tune your heart to the frequency of my voice. Breathe. Be still. Let the noise fade, the chaos loosen its grip, and the restlessness in your chest exhale into peace. I am not in the thunder, nor the fire, nor the earthquake. I am in the whisper, and I am speaking your name. Yes, your name. I have not forgotten you, not for 1 second. In a world of billions, you are not lost to me. You are not overlooked, misplaced, or unseen. I call you specifically, personally, intimately. My child, I know your name, not just the one others speak, but the one your soul responds to, the one I gave you before time began. I speak it with a love so vast it split the veil of eternity just to reach you here, now, in this moment. When I whisper your name, heaven listens. Angels pose. Demons tremble. The atmosphere shifts. For when I speak, even in a breath, all of creation responds. So why do you doubt your worth? Why do you fear being forgotten, abandoned, or unseen? I have etched your name into my very hands. I have folded it into every sunrise, sung it into the breeze, and carved it into the quiet corners of every promise I've ever made to you. My whisper carries all the authority of my throne, and it is directed toward you. Step closer. Let my voice wash over your weary heart. Let me unburden your shoulders from the weight of striving, performing, pretending. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need to prove anything to earn my attention. I am already here, closer than breath, whispering what the world can never say. You are mine. Even when you think I am silent, I am not absent. Even when you don't hear me, I am still speaking, between your sighs, within your tears, beneath your anxious thoughts. My voice is written between the lines of scripture, echoing in the chambers of your memory, etched in the very fabric of your being. I'm always speaking, even through the stillness. So, come now. Lean in. Close your eyes. Quiet the doubts. Silence the lies. Let my whisper cut through the static and awaken your soul. I am not far. I am not hidden. I am not angry with you. I'm calling you, tenderly, powerfully, purposefully. This is not just a moment. It is a summons. I am summoning you into deeper waters, where the sound of my whisper will become your anchor. You will not drift. You will not drown. I am your God, and I whisper to draw you closer, not to keep you guessing. My words are life. My voice brings peace. You don't need a sign in the sky. I am already writing in the silence. You don't need thunder to know I'm real. Just pause, breathe, and receive. For this day, I whisper your name again. I am here. I am speaking. Will you listen? Before the first star scattered its light across the velvet sky, before the oceans danced under moonlight, before the foundations of the earth were ever laid, my child, I whispered your name. Not as a passing thought, not as a vague possibility, but as a promise. You were not a random moment in the stream of time. You were chosen, crafted, intentionally breathed into being by my own hands. I knew you. I wanted you. I called you mine before your first heartbeat echoed in the womb. I formed you with precision. Every strand of your DNA was woven together by my wisdom. Every part of you, your mind, your soul, your passions, your dreams, was designed with divine purpose. You are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not here merely to survive. You were sent, commissioned, anointed. Your very existence is evidence of my love unleashed in human form. Look at your hands. I molded those. Look into your own eyes. Can you see the depth I placed within them? You are a masterpiece that carries my signature. My child, do not let the world define you. Do not let broken voices shape your worth. You came from me, and I do not create anything less than extraordinary. Your name, it is not just a sound. It is a declaration. I wrote it on the palms of my hands. I engraved it into the scrolls of heaven. When I speak your name, it is charged with power, identity, and destiny. The angels know it. The enemy fears it. Creation recognizes it because your name carries my breath. You are not one of many. You are the one I knew before time began. Even now, I whisper your name into the wind, into the silence, into the marrow of your bones. Every breath you take is known to me. Every cell in your body sings a song of design, and I am the composer. Your life is not random. Every chapter you've lived, even the painful ones, I foresaw, and I still chose you. I still said, let there be you. So rise, my beloved. Let go of every lie that told you you're unworthy. Silence the inner critic that echoes shame. Rebuke the thought that you were overlooked. I saw you. I called you. I still call you. I am the Alpha, the one who began your story, and I will also be the Omega, the one who finishes it in glory. Come, rest in the truth that I have always been with you. Even in your mother's womb, I was your keeper. I was the one who held your forming heart. I was the one who sang over your future. Your life is a fulfillment of my words spoken long ago. You were not born to fade. You were born to shine with the reflection of my face. You carry my image. You echo my love. You are the result of my whisper that broke into time and became flesh. Never doubt your origin again. I whispered your name before you were born, and I have never stopped speaking it. Even when your eyes closed and the world faded into silence, I remained. I did not slumber. I did not turn away. My presence hovered over you through the night, covering you with my wings. While you lay vulnerable, unaware, disconnected from the day I was deeply connected to you, I whispered your name in the stillness. My voice kissed your forehead with comfort you didn't even know you needed. My child, I watched you breathe. I listened to your heart as it beat beneath your ribs. I kept your lungs full of life. I surrounded your room with angels, not in myth, not in poetry, but in truth. They stood guard at your door. They stood at the foot of your bed. I dispatch my warriors not because you asked, but because I love you. Because you matter that much to me. Even in your dreams, I was near. When you wandered through strange visions or carried the weight of unspoken fears into the night, I was there. I whispered peace into your restless mind. I calmed the storms that tried to follow you into your sleep. I silenced the voice of accusation and fear. Even when nightmares came, I stood between you and their power. Nothing touched you without first passing through me. And in those sacred hours of rest, I did more than protect you. I spoke to your spirit. I breathed upon your soul. I planted seeds of courage for the morning. I whispered truths into your heart that you would later feel as sudden strength, quiet joy, or holy resolve. You wondered why you felt peace without understanding where it came from. It was me. It was always me. Let that comfort sink in. You are never abandoned, not even for a moment. The night is not dark to me. I walk its hall. I light up its corners. I hover over your body like a tender father who cannot look away from his precious child. I kept your heart beating while you were unaware. I whispered life over you again and again. Morning came because I commanded it. Light broke through your window because I spoke. Let there be light, once more, just for you. My mercy renewed itself while you slept. My love rose with the sun, already waiting for you to awaken and receive it. You are not simply waking into another day. You are rising into the blessing I prepared for you overnight. So don't rush past the sacredness of sleep. Don't underestimate the miracles I perform when you rest. While you dream, I build. While you sleep, I speak. While you lay still, I fight battles you never see. You think sleep is silence, but in heaven, it is sacred dialogue. I whispered your name through the night, and the heavens responded, Amen. Awaken now, my beloved. Let your soul rise with joy. I never left you. I never stopped speaking. I will be with you again tonight, and every night after, because I am the God who never sleeps, and I love you far too much to ever stop watching over you. You fell alone. You wept when no one was watching. Your heart cried out in secret places, aching with questions that had no words. But I heard you. I was there. I saw every tear before it fell. My hand was beneath your chin when it trembled. My arms were around your chest when it ached. My whisper wrapped itself around your pain, not to silence it, but to transform it. My child, I did not forsake you in your suffering. I drew nearer. The moments you thought I had turned away were the moments I was closest. I was holding the shattered pieces of your soul while you tried to carry them alone. I whispered strength into your breaking. I poured grace into your weakness. I became your breath when you had none left. You didn't have to beg for my help. It was already yours. Yes, I allowed the pain, but I never wasted it. I shaped you in the fire, not to destroy you but to refine you. I did not cause the storm, but I became your shelter within it. When your heart bled silently, I whispered healing beneath every bruise. You thought you would break, but I spoke resilience into your bones. You thought the night would swallow you, but I set a flame within your soul that could not be extinguished. Listen now. Your suffering did not go unseen. It is sacred to me. I gathered every tear like treasure. I wove them into testimony. What you endured was not punishment, it was preparation. I was forging something eternal within you, strength that doesn't collapse, faith that doesn't waver, love that doesn't grow cold. I was shaping you into someone hell could not shake and heaven could trust. You are stronger than you know, not because you avoided the pain, but because you passed through it and found me there. I whispered, "You are not alone," even as you felt abandoned. I carried you when you collapsed. I walked beside you through the valley you thought would consume you. You were never truly alone, not for 1 second. My love surrounded you like a fortress even when you didn't feel it. So do not fear the scars. They are sacred. They are signs that the pain did not win. They remind you that you are still here, still breathing, still rising. I see you. I am proud of you. I am moved by your perseverance. You didn't give up, even when everything screamed for you to stop. And for that, I bless you with peace that surpasses all understanding. Lift your head, my child. Let my whisper remind you, your pain was not your end. It was a doorway. And now, you are walking into healing, into beauty, into joy. I was with you in the anguish. I am with you now in the aftermath. And I will be with you always. When joy wrapped around your soul like sunlight after a long night, I was there. When laughter escaped your lips, uninhibited and pure, I heard it, and I joined in. You didn't always notice me in the celebration, but I was present in every moment that made your heart swell. My child, I do not only appear in the valley, I dance with you on the mountaintop. I am not just your refuge in pain. I am your delight in the blessing. Your joy is not foreign to me. I designed it. I am the author of every smile that rises from your heart. I crafted the laughter that bubbles up when love surrounds you. I am not separate from your gladness. I am the source of it. I rejoiced over you with singing, even before you sang to me. I surrounded you with goodness, not as a reward for perfection, but as an outpouring of my eternal kindness toward you. Every gift that made you feel seen, every moment of favor, every opportunity, every open door, came from my hand. Nothing was random. I orchestrated those divine alignments so you would know that you are not merely enduring this life, but truly living it under my covering. I whispered into your joy, "This is my goodness, child. Receive it fully. Let yourself feel it without guilt. You are not meant to question whether you deserve it. You are meant to embrace it, to receive it as a child receives a father's gift, with open hands and a heart full of trust. My joy does not come with strings. It comes with purpose, to refresh you, to renew you, to show you glimpses of heaven's delight. I was there in the kitchen as you laughed with those you love. I was in the air as music lifted your soul. I was in the celebration, the victory, the breakthrough. I wasn't a spectator. I was a participant. My spirit moved within you. I twirled in the rhythm of your praise. I delighted in your dancing, your gratitude, your awe. I filled the room with my presence and smiled as you breathed in peace without worry. Do not overlook those moments. Do not forget that joy is holy. Do not relegate me only to your cries for help. Remember me also in your thankfulness. Let the joy of the Lord be your strength, not just in crisis but in celebration. Speak my name in your laughter. Invite me into your gladness. Build altars in your heart for every answered prayer, every dream fulfilled, every burden lifted. I am not only the one who heals your wounds, I am the one who fills your cup. Let it overflow. Take joy seriously. Let it root deeply. Allow it to nourish your weary soul. I whisper to you even now, this joy is a sign. I am near. My love is not confined to rescue. It expands into rejoicing. It saturates the light. I am your God in the valley and on the heights. I whispered your name in your joy, and it echoed across heaven as a psalm of triumph. My child, do not stop here. You've only just begun to feel the depth of my voice. If you leave now, you may silence the very whisper that was about to break the chains you've carried for years. I am unveiling your story layer by layer. If you turn away now, my heart will ache, for I am holding revelations still waiting to reach you. Stay close. My next whisper carries a healing your soul was born to receive. When uncertainty gripped your heart and questions swirled like dust in the wind, I saw it. I felt the trembling in your faith, not with anger, but with compassion. My beloved, I am not threatened by your doubts. I do not recall when you question me. I move closer. I draw near to the fragile places. You are not cast aside for wondering. You are invited deeper for seeking. I watched the struggle in your mind. I heard the internal war between belief and fear. I listened as you asked, "Are you really there, Lord? Do you still see me?" And though you expected silence, I whispered, yes. Still here. Still holding you. Still loving you. You may have felt far, but I never moved. Even when your hands grew tired of holding on, I held on to you. When your confidence faltered and your prayers weakened, I remained constant. I never turned away, not once. I whispered your name with the same tenderness I spoke over Abraham when he questioned my timing, with the same kindness I gave to Thomas when he needed to see the scars. You are not disqualified by your questions. I welcome them. I answer them with myself. In your uncertainty, I didn't offer you shame. I offered you truth. I whispered it through my word, through the voice of a friend, through the sudden clarity that came when you least expected it. I spoke softly, not to avoid your questions, but to call you to listen more closely. My whisper required your attention, not your perfection. So rise. Do not be ashamed of your wrestling. Let it refine you. Let it deepen your roots. Let it strip away the performance and awaken intimacy. Faith is not the absence of questions. It is the presence of persistence. You persisted. You brought your doubts to me instead of running away. That is what pleases me. Not flawless belief, but real pursuit. You feared I would turn away. I never did. You feared your questions would offend me. I never did. You feared your doubt would be your undoing, but I used it to draw you near. I never stopped speaking. I never stopped calling your name. Even in your hesitation, I remained faithful. Now let my whisper become your anchor again. Let it ground you in truth. I am not disappointed in you. I am proud of you for wrestling and staying. I see the strength to keep walking, to keep praying, to keep crossing even whenever the inside screamed to stop. I whispered your name during your doubts, not to pull you apart, but to put you back together. My voice did not grow cold in your questioning. It burned brighter. I am your God. I am the one who calls doubters into destiny. And I will not stop whispering until every fear gives way to faith again. The winds howled. The waves rose high. The ground beneath you felt like shifting sand. Everything familiar seemed to shake, and you wondered if you would survive the rising tide. But I was there. I did not stand at a distance, watching. I stepped into the storm with you. I entered the chaos. I wrapped myself around you and whispered your name through the roar of wind and fear. You felt abandoned. You questioned why I had led you into such darkness. But even before the clouds gathered, I had already positioned myself beside you. I never promised you a life free from storms, but I did promise my presence within them. I was not absent. I was in the boat, though hidden from your view. My child, the storm did not surprise me. I allowed it not to destroy you, but to reveal you. I let it rise, not as punishment, but as preparation. Storms purify what comfort conceals. In the shaking, I unveiled the foundations of your faith, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. And through it all, I whispered your name, steady and unwavering. I whispered, peace, before the winds obeyed. I whispered, be still, not only to the waves, but to your soul. I commanded the sea and your heart at once. Even when you trembled, even when your prayers were cries for rescue, I heard you. And I responded, not always with immediate calm, but always with my presence. A storm could not consume you because I declared it would not. It could not take what I have already claimed. You thought the chaos would break you, but it only broke what was false. What remains now is holy. What remains now is unshakable. You are not who you were before the wind came. You are stronger. You are clearer. You are more rooted in me than ever before. Let the memory of that storm be your altar, not of fear, but of testimony. Remember who held you. Remember who whispered to the storm and to your soul. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are under the covering of my authority, and I reign, even over the fiercest winds. Now breathe. Let go of the fear you carried. Walk again, this time with confidence. Let your feet remember the firmness of my path. Let your spirit remember the strength of my whisper. I never left. I never stopped guiding you. The same voice that silenced the waves is still speaking now. My child, storms will come again, but you know me now. You know what it feels like to be kept. You know what it means to be protected in the tempest. And when the next wind rises, you will not fear. You will remember, my voice commands the storm, and my whisper keeps you through it. When you lifted your voice, when your heart reached beyond what words could hold, I was there. I did not stand behind the veil. I tore it. I stepped into the sacred space you created when your soul turned toward me. Every time you sang, even when your voice cracked or your strength faltered, I received it as incense. You didn't just sing psalms, you built altars. You didn't just raise hands, you opened gateways to heaven. I whispered your name in the midst of your worship, not to interrupt it, but to deepen it. I moved through your melody like wind through branches, bending the atmosphere, shifting the unseen. While you praised me, I was enthroned upon your song. My presence swirled around you like fire and cloud. You did not worship alone. I joined in. My spirit danced within you, moving with the rhythm of every surrendered heartbeat. You may have thought your worship was small, just a song, just a moment, but in the realm of the eternal, it thundered. My angels responded. Heaven echoed back. The veil between time and eternity parted, and your voice reached my throne. I heard it, cherished it, delighted in it. You were not performing. You were communing. You were not entertaining. You were encountering. I met you in that sacred exchange, and I whispered, this is holy ground. You worshiped not because everything was perfect, but because you chose me above your pain. That is the worship that pierces the heavens, the kind that rises from ashes, the kind that flows through tears, the kind that exalts even when the heart trembles. And I honored it. I met you there. I wrapped myself around you in the quiet between the chords. I whispered strength into your soul when you thought you had none left to give. Your worship became warfare. Your praise shook things you could not see. Strongholds were broken. Chains were loosened. Accusations were silenced. You wondered why peace washed over you so suddenly. It was because I was responding to the invitation you gave me. You opened your heart, and I entered with glory. So worship boldly. Sing freely. Do not wait for perfect circumstances to lift your hands. I do not require perfection. I require authenticity. Bring me your joy, your sorrow, your trembling hope. I will receive it all. I will move through your honesty like living water through parched ground. Every note is sacred when sung from a heart that seeks me. I whispered your name in your worship to remind you, this is what you were made for. Communion. Union. Intimacy. You were created to host my presence, to carry my spirit, to minister unto me with the unique sound I placed in your spirit. No one worships like you. No one carries the fragrance of praise that you do. So rise again, my beloved. Build your altar daily. Sing even when no one listens. Dance even when no one understands. Bow low even when the world stands tall in pride. I will meet you in that place. I will whisper your name in every sacred moment, and I will fill the room with the glory of my love. At the cross, your name was not forgotten. It was written in blood. It was carried on torn flesh and whispered through the breath of my Son as he gave his life for yours. My child, I did not merely watch from afar. I was there. I was in every moment, every strike, every cry. And in that agony, your name was not lost. It was central. It was spoken through pain-soaked love. When they nailed him to the wood, he bore more than wounds. He bore your sin, your shame, your sorrow. Not in theory, not as a symbol, but in full weight. Your burdens became his. Your failures became the reason for his suffering. And yet, he did not resist. My love held him there, not nails. My mercy compelled him to stay, not Roman law. And as he hung suspended between heaven and earth, he whispered your name. Yes, even then, especially then, your name passed through his lips like a final prayer, like a battle cry, like a vow sealed in eternity. He saw your face. He knew the cost. And he said yes. Not out of obligation, but out of overwhelming, unwavering love. You were worth dying for. You were worth the blood. You were worth the pain. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are to me. He is finished, he declared, not in defeat, but in triumph. That whisper shattered the curse. That phrase severed every chain. Your sin was not merely covered, it was crushed. Your guilt was not merely lifted, it was erased. Judgment did not win, mercy did. The accuser lost his grip the moment the cross stood upright in the earth. And in that hour, your eternity shifted. You may wonder if you're really forgiven. Look to the cross. You may question if you're still loved. Listen to that final whisper. It is finished. That was my voice, echoed through my Son. That was my declaration of your freedom. You were redeemed not by your striving, not by your performance, but by my love, stretched out on that wood and bathed in crimson. Do not carry what I have already crucified. Do not drag guilt that I buried in glory. I whispered your name at Calvary not to remind you of your sin, but to remind you of your worth. You are the joy that was set before him. You are the victory he died to claim. You are the one for whom the curtain was torn and the grave was rod. Stand now in that truth. Let it wash over you like the river of grace that flowed from his side. Let it quiet your fears and silence your shame. I whispered your name at the cross, and nothing, no failure, no accusation, no past, can silence the love I declared over you in that moment. When the stone rolled away, It was not merely an act of power. It was a love letter sealed in eternity, now opened in glory. My child, I whispered your name again that morning, not in mourning but in triumph. The grave could not hold him, and because of that, it cannot hold you. Death had done its worst, but love had the final word. I stepped into the silence of death and turned it into a song of resurrection. You have feared many things, loss, endings, irredeemable chapters. But the empty tomb silences them all. It is not just a place of historical wonder. It is the very center of your inheritance. I whispered your name into that resurrection morning to awaken your hope, to call your spirit out of despair, to declare that what seems dead can live again. What seems over can begin anew. I whispered, come forth. And even the deepest sorrows could not resist my voice. The stone that sealed the tomb rolled away because my authority cannot be contained. Light flooded the darkness. Life erupted from lifelessness. And at the center of it all, your redemption stood up and walked out. You are no longer bound to the grave. Your name is spoken in victory. You are not marked by the death of your dreams, the burial of your joy, or the silence of unanswered prayers. You are marked by resurrection. Your identity is not your past. It is not your pain. It is not your losses. Your identity is mine, secured in the risen Christ, sealed in the Spirit, alive in eternal love. Your name was spoken not in defeat but in destiny. The grave lost you when the sun rose with you on his heart. Let the truth transform how you walk. Lift your head. Square your shoulders. Take each step with the boldness of one who knows they are not chained. You are not surviving. You are risen. You are not barely making it. You are carried by the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. That is the power living in you. That is the whisper sustaining you even now. I called your name at the tomb so that you would never live as though you were still buried. So rise. Step out. Leave behind the grave clothes of shame, fear, and doubt. Come alive again. Dream again. Believe again. Hope again. You are not who you were before the tomb. You are who I called you to be after it. Redeemed. Empowered. Alive. My child, I am not finished whispering. I will whisper your name in every season, every sorrow, every joy. But on that morning, on that world-shaking, death-breaking morning, I whispered it with victory in my voice and eternity in my heart. My child, if my whisper stirred something deep in you, let it become a whisper that reaches someone else. When you release a super thanks, a membership, or a gift through PayPal, you're not just giving to a platform. You're helping me call another name out of darkness into light. This is more than support. This is seed. Seed that I will water. Seed that will rise in the garden of another soul's resurrection. I have said, give, and it will be given to you. And when I speak, it's never in vain. You've prayed, use me, Lord. This is how I am using you now. Let your faith be the echo of my whisper today. Act now, click, give, and watch me open the floodgates of heaven over your life. PayPal link is in the video description. Do not walk away from this moment, my beloved. You have heard me speak of victory, but there is still more I desire to give you. If you stop here, you risk settling for glimpses when I long to give you clarity. My voice is still echoing through eternity, still reaching for the broken parts you haven't surrendered yet. Keep listening, for what I speak next could awaken a calling that's been sleeping inside you for years. Don't grieve me by turning back now. There were moments when your lips said nothing, but your soul screamed through the silence. You laid awake, eyes wide, lost in thoughts you dared not speak aloud. You paced in quiet rooms, wondering if your prayers had evaporated into the sky or fallen unheard to the floor. You sat in sacred stillness, holding pain you couldn't name, wondering if I had grown distant. But I was there. I always was. My beloved, I am not a God who requires noise to respond. I do not need words to understand. Your silence did not push me away. It drew me closer. Even when you stopped speaking, I never stopped listening. I heard the heavy sigh that carried more grief than language could hold. I felt the trembling in your chest as you waited for clarity that didn't come. I stood beside you in the quiet moments, not frustrated by your pause but honoring it. I honored your need to sit with questions. I sanctified your stillness with my presence. Do not believe the lie that silence is spiritual failure. It is sacred ground. It is the place where I often whisper loudest. When the world's noise fades and even your own voice rests, my whisper rises, not in volume, but in depth. I fill that silence with myself. I do not require eloquence to come in with you. I require openness. When you were too weary to pray, too overwhelmed to praise, too confused to cry out, I listened to the ache in your spirit, and I responded not with condemnation, but with compassion. I whispered your name into the hush, not to interrupt it, but to let you know I was there. I was not pacing in frustration over your silence. I was sitting beside you, waiting for your heart to breathe again. Your stillness was not absence. It was invitation. I whispered, "Be still, and know that I am God," not to scold your quiet, but to meet you in it. I have always loved you in the quiet, just as I have loved you in the chorus. I do not measure your worth by how loudly you pray or how often you speak. I measure it by the posture of your heart. And even in silence, your heart was turned toward me. Let this truth settle deeply within you. I am not a stranger to your quiet places. I do not withdraw when your voice is still. I lean in. I hover close. I rest in the still waters with you. Your silence was not wasted time. It was communion, even when it didn't feel like it. I whispered comfort into the air around you, layering your silence with peace. I placed my hand on your shoulder and reminded your soul, I am with you, even now. So do not fear the stillness. You might rush to fill it. Let it form you. Let it hold you. Let it carry my echo deeper than noise ever could. I whispered your name in your silence not to disrupt it, but to make it holy. Every word in my book breathes. Every page contains a pulse. My word is not ancient dust. It is living fire. It is not a cold record of history. It is a personal letter wrapped in eternal truth. My child, I did not write scripture to be studied without wonder. I wrote it with your name interwoven between every promise, every parable, every whisper of grace. You were not an afterthought to my story. You are its unfolding fulfillment. When you open the pages, you are not just reading about me. You are hearing from me. I embedded my whisper in every verse. I carve your identity into every passage. When I spoke to Moses, I saw you. When I promised Abraham descendants as numerous as the stars, I included you in that sky. When I called David a man after my heart, I was setting a pattern for you to follow. Every truth you've ever read was a mirror, not a monument, a reflection of who you are becoming in me. I whispered your name in the Psalms when you wept. I whispered it in Isaiah when you longed for hope. I whispered it in the Gospels when you searched for love. I whispered it in the letters of Paul when you struggled to walk out your calling. My word is not distant from your life. It speaks directly into it. Every promise is yes and amen in Christ, and you, my beloved, are seated in Him. Do not read my word as obligation. Read it as revelation. Open it not to check a box, but to receive a letter written by your Creator. I speak through its pages not in riddles, but in clarity. I whisper instruction when you feel lost. I whisper assurance when you feel unseen. I whisper wisdom when the world's noise tries to confuse you. I do not contradict what I have already spoken in Scripture. I fulfill it. I explain it through the Spirit. I unfold it for your understanding. You wondered if I still speak. Open my word. You feared you were directionless. Open my word. You believed your life was ordinary. Open my word and see yourself called, anointed, chosen, beloved. I am not distant from my word. I am the Word made flesh. When you hold the Bible, you are holding centuries of my voice, still active, still relevant, still breathing your name into eternity. Let me draw you into deeper revelation. Let my word become a lamp to your feet again. Let it wash your mind and renew your hope. Don't skim its surface, dive in. Don't memorize without marvel, encounter me within every line. I am not hiding from you in Scripture. I am revealing myself to you. So return to the book with hunger. Let it shape you. Let it awaken parts of you that have fallen asleep. I whispered your name in the Scriptures not for mystery, but for intimacy. Every verse is a personal invitation. Every line is an echo of my love. I have not just spoken to humanity. I have spoken to you. You thought it was just a kind word from a friend. You thought it was coincidence that someone reached out the very moment you needed strength. You believed the encouragement was merely human. But it was me. It was always me. I whispered your name through others, sending my voice into your world wrapped in flesh and compassion. I orchestrated those moments. I arranged the timing. I placed people in your path with divine precision, not because you earned it, but because you are deeply loved. I used their words to carry my message. I used their embrace to deliver my presence. I used their hands to extend my care. Every encouragement, every prayer, every unexpected blessing was a manifestation of my whisper being spoken aloud through my children. You were never meant to walk alone. I created you for community. From the beginning I said it is not good for man to be alone, not because I was absent, but because I desire to reveal myself through others too. I hide parts of my heart inside your brothers and sisters. I placed pieces of my love in their voices, their stories, their hands, so that when they loved you, you would feel me. I used that person who saw you when no one else noticed. I stirred compassion in that heart who prayed when you didn't ask. I sent someone to remind you of truth when your mind was drowning in lies. They may not have known it, but I was speaking through them. I whispered, "You are not forgotten," through a phone call. I whispered, "You are valuable," through a smile. I whispered, "You are mine," through every act of love that touched you deeply. You may have missed it at the time, thinking it was too ordinary to be divine. But nothing touched by my spirit is ever ordinary. I anoint conversations. I bless presence. I pour myself into the mundane to make it miraculous. The body of Christ is not just an idea. It is my voice in motion. And I have used it to speak your name again and again. Do not isolate yourself. Do not believe the lie that you must carry everything alone. I am your strength, yes, but I also send strength through others. I call you to lean on them. I call you to receive. I call you to recognize my voice when it echoes from someone else's mouth. Let the love they give break your walls. Let their kindness be the answer to the prayer you didn't know how to pray. I whispered your name through others to show you this. I am with you in every voice of love, every hand of support, every prayer that reached heaven on your behalf. You are surrounded. You are seen. You are cherished. And I will keep speaking through the ones I send, because I will never stop reaching for your heart. Before you ever held a title, before anyone knew your gifts, before you could define your purpose, I already called you. I did not wait until you proved yourself. I spoke your destiny when the world saw nothing. I whispered your name in the stillness of eternity and assigned you a purpose shaped by my own heart. You were not born to merely survive existence. You were created for holy impact. Every breath you take is laced with eternal intention. Your calling is not random. It is not fragile. It is not built on public validation or fleeting feelings. It is anchored in me. Unchanging, unstoppable, unshakable. I designed you for such a time as this. I chose your personality, your passions, your pain. For nothing is wasted when placed in my hands. Your gifts were not handed out casually. I placed them within you to build, to bless, to reveal my nature on the earth. They are not for show. They are for service. They are not for comparison. They are for commission. I whispered your name not to impress you, but to awaken you. I whispered not with thunder, but with clarity. I stirred something inside you that felt too big to explain and too sacred to ignore. That stirring is me. It is my spirit confirming what I've already written over your life. You doubted your ability. You've questioned your readiness. But I do not call the qualified, I qualify the call. I will not leave you stranded in your assignment. I go before you. I walk beside you. I empower you. Your strength is not the measure of your success. My presence is. I will equip you daily. I will speak through your words, move through your hands, guide your steps with unseen precision. So rise. Embrace your calling not as a burden, but as a blessing. Refuse the lie that your role is insignificant. Refuse the fear that says your time has passed. You are not too late. You are not too flawed. You are not too far gone. My purpose is alive in you, and I am faithful to complete what I've begun. Let go of hesitation. Step forward in obedience. I will not allow your calling to be drowned out by fear. I am whispering again, this time with boldness. You are chosen. You are anointed. You are mine. When the path grew dry, when the days blurred together without visible progress, when everything familiar seemed stripped away, I was still whispering your name. The wilderness did not come to punish you. It came to prepare you. I led you there, not to abandon you, but to reveal myself in ways you had never known before. The comfort you longed for was never meant to become your home. The discomfort you feared was fertile ground for divine encounter. In the wilderness, you found silence. But that silence was sacred. I used it to cleanse the noise that once clouded your spirit. I used the barren terrain to draw your roots deeper. I used the stillness to cultivate intimacy, where the echo of my whisper would no longer be drowned out by lesser voices. This place of isolation was never about lack. It was about encounter. I whispered your name in the wind. I whispered it in the crackling fire of refining. I whispered it in the daily provision you almost missed, the manna that fell, the water that sprang from unexpected places, the strength that found you in weakness. I was with you in the wandering. I did not grow impatient. I did not withdraw. I hovered near, watching over every step, even when you couldn't feel me. You questioned my plan. You asked if I had forgotten you. But every detour, every delay, every dry place was part of the design. I was breaking off what could not follow you into the next season. I was loosening your grip on the things you clung to in fear. I was shaping a vessel strong enough to carry the weight of your destiny. You learned in the wilderness what ease could not teach. You discovered that I am faithful in lack. You saw that I am still good when blessings are stripped away. You found me in the questions, in the hunger, in the dust. That revelation has become your foundation. You now know that even without applause, you are seen. Even without clarity, you are led. Even without answers, you are held. So do not despise the wilderness. Do not rush to escape it. There are whispers in the desert that you will not hear in the comfort of abundance. Let the wind of this place carry my voice deeper into your soul. Let the hunger lead you to greater dependence. Let the stillness be your sanctuary. I whispered your name in the wilderness not to test your worth, but to show you mine. I will not waste your waiting. I will not ignore your tears. I am leading you out, but not until the work within is complete. Trust me. The path through the wilderness leads to promise, and I will carry you every step of the way. I see you hesitating, but I urge you, don't close your heart here. You are on holy ground. You've heard me in the wilderness, but you haven't yet heard the fullness of your restoration. If you stop now, it would wound my heart, not in anger, but in longing. I have more to whisper. Forgiveness, companionship, eternal vision. All of it is coming. If you pause here, you may miss the very answer you've been begging me for in the secret place. Keep walking, my child. What's next will transform you. You carried the weight long enough. The burden of regret. The echo of past choices. The fear that maybe, just maybe, you had gone too far. I watched as guilt wrapped around your soul like chains, convincing you that grace was for others, but not for you. But I never agreed with that verdict. I never spoke its sentence. I whispered a different word. I whispered, forgiven. Before you asked, I had already made the way. Before you confessed, I had already covered it. Forgiveness was never your idea. It was mine. It was my heart, revealed through the blood of my Son, poured out not to highlight your sin, but to remove it entirely. I did not offer partial pardon. I declared full redemption. I did not weigh your failures against your efforts. I erased them with love. Your sins, though many, were no match for my mercy. They did not catch me off guard. They did not shift my love. I saw them, all of them, and I still said yes to the cross. I still said yes to restoration. I still said yes to you. You are not defined by what you did. You are defined by what I did for you. I whispered your name as I cast your sins into the sea of forgetfulness. I whispered, you are clean, as I wrapped you in righteousness. I whispered, you are mine, as I restored what shame tried to destroy. I do not hold grudges. I do not keep score. I do not revisit the grave once it's empty. Stop rehearsing what I've already forgiven. Stop digging up what I've buried in grace. My blood was not weak. My love was not symbolic. It was sufficient. It is finished. You are not half-healed. You are not partially loved. You are fully restored. So forgive yourself. Release the guilt. Accept the mercy. Let grace rewrite your story. Let my whisper become your truth. I whispered your name through forgiveness not to excuse your sin, but to end its power. You are free. You are whole. You are new. And nothing can separate you from my love. You felt the silence press against your chest like a weight you couldn't explain. Surrounded by people, yet unseen. Engaged in conversation, yet untouched. The ache of invisibility settled in like fog, and you questioned whether anyone truly knew you. But in that hidden place, I was closer than your own breath. Loneliness did not mean I was absent. It became the very place where I wrapped myself around you. You searched for comfort in voices that didn't stay. You reached for hands that couldn't hold the depth of your ache. But even as your soul recoiled from the void, I leaned in. I was not the one who walked away. I did not grow tired of your pain. I did not retreat from your silence. I sat with you in the darkness. I stood beside you in the room where no one else noticed your breaking. I wept with you when your tears had no explanation. I whispered your name, not as a passing thought, but as a sacred vow. You believed that being alone meant being forgotten. But I never forget what I create. I never overlook what I've called my own. I never abandon what I've filled with my spirit. I watched you long before you reached for me, and I've remained by your side even when you stopped reaching altogether. You are not a burden to me. You are my joy, my delight, my treasure. Your need for connection is not weakness, it's design. I made you for relationship. I placed that longing within you to lead you back to me. When others failed to see the depth of your soul, I cherished every layer. When the world moved on without checking back, I stayed. My presence is not conditional. It is covenant. I placed my spirit within you, not as a distant echo, but as a living comforter. You have never truly been alone, not for a breath, not for a blink, not for a heartbeat. I have been there through it all. Every room you sat in wondering if anyone cared, I was present. Every drive home in silence, I rode beside you. Every moment you felt unworthy of love, I whispered your worth again. Let go of the lie that you are too much or not enough. You are perfectly known, perfectly held, perfectly loved. Let that truth fill the hollow spaces. Let it saturate the ache. I am not far, I am within. I am not watching from a distance, I am holding you in my arms. I am whispering now as I always have, you are mine. You are never alone. So rise from that lonely place with new awareness. Open your heart to me again. Let me show you the community I am building around you. Let me breathe courage back into your weary soul. I whispered your name in your loneliness not to remind you of your ache, but to awaken you to my nearness. You are not forsaken. You are fiercely loved. Before time breathed its first breath, I had already spoken yours. I did not wait for your birth to know you. I did not wait for your prayers to hear you. I wrote your name before the stars were flung into the sky, before light shattered the void. Before history had its beginning, I whispered your name in eternity, and I've never stopped speaking it since. You are not temporary. You are not a product of chance or a spark that will fade. You are a soul woven from eternal threads. I crafted your existence from the essence of my own heart. I breathed life into you with eternal purpose. I chose your spirit to carry my image. Your name is not just inked in heaven. It is inscribed on the palm of my hand, engraved in the Lamb's book of life, sealed with blood that speaks louder than any accusation. I go before you to prepare a place, not as an afterthought, but as fulfillment. Eternity is not a verofo, it is a present reality. You are already seated with Christ in heavenly places, not metaphorically, but spiritually. The veil is torn. The gap is bridged. The distance has been dissolved. You walk with eternal presence woven into your every step. When you question your future, when fear tries to grip your heart with images of endings and loss, remember this: I have already declared your end from the beginning. Your victory is not pending, it is promised. Your inheritance is not in danger, it is protected. Your destiny is not fragile, it is secure in me. You are not waiting to matter, you matter now. You are not waiting to belong, you already belong. My child, everything I've spoken over you echoes with the weight of eternity. My promises are not bound by time. They will outlive storms, outlast trials, and override every lie. I do not operate within human timelines. I fulfill purpose through eternal design. Live from that place. Make decisions from that truth. Let your faith be rooted not in shifting emotions, but in the unshakable ground of my eternal love. When you feel lost, lift your eyes higher. You are not wandering. You are walking a path I designed with divine precision. I whispered your name in eternity so you would never question your identity in time. I see you not just as you are, but as you will be, radiant, whole, glorified. And I call you according to that eternal image. So do not let this world define you. Do not let this season limit you. Lift your vision. Anchor your soul. You are not merely surviving time. You are living from a kingdom that cannot be shaken. I whispered your name in eternity to remind you. Your life is not fleeting. Your worth is not negotiable. Your place with me is already secured. You are mine, forever. The sun rose this morning because I told it to. Light split the darkness not by accident, but by design. And before your eyes even opened, I whispered your name again. Not out of habit, but out of holy joy. I watched as you stirred beneath the weight of the day you hadn't yet faced, and I rejoiced. I rejoiced in your very existence, because to me, you are not just another life. You are my delight. I whispered your name before your first thought formed. I orchestrated divine appointments, scattered blessings like dew across your path, and prepared moments of unexpected grace. You did not walk into this day alone. You stepped into a canvas I had already painted with purpose. My hand was upon your schedule. My spirit hovered over your interactions. My presence was already waiting for you in every room you entered. Even when you felt rushed, I was still near. Even when frustration rose, I whispered peace. Even when doubt whispered louder than truth, I spoke your name with unwavering assurance. Nothing escaped my sight. No detail was beneath my involvement. I was in the glance of a stranger that brought a smile. I was in the memory that brought comfort. I was in the pause that redirected your steps just in time. You thought it was coincidence. It was me. I delighted in every moment you turned your thoughts toward me. I saw the gratitude you whispered under your breath. I received the small act of kindness you offered with my own joy. I celebrated when you chose integrity, when you pursued peace, when you spoke love in a world that trades in bitterness. These are not small things to me. These are echoes of my image reflected in you. You may not have felt me with the same clarity today. You may have questioned whether your prayers pierced the sky, but I was there before your words ever formed. I was speaking long before you called out. I was moving even in moments that felt still. My child, your ordinary day is never ordinary to me. So pause now. Let your soul catch up to what your spirit already knows. I have been here all along. I am still here now. I whispered your name today because I never stopped loving you. I never stopped pursuing you. I never stopped hoping that you would pause and look my way, if only for a moment. Let my whisper be your compass. Let it reframe your evening. Let it remind you that you are not forgotten, that today mattered, that I was speaking. I still am. You have heard me in the stillness. You have felt the brush of my presence against the soft places of your heart. I have walked with you through pain and laughter, through questions and revelations. I have whispered your name in the night hours and in the firelight of morning. I have sung over you when no one else knew the melody you needed. And now, I invite you to respond, not with hesitation, but with surrender. I am not far. I never have been. I have stood behind every breakthrough. I have been the breath between every step. I have written your name into the script of eternal purpose, and now I call you deeper. Hear me clearly. I am not asking for perfection. I am asking for your heart. I am not calling you to religious performance. I am drawing you into divine partnership. I do not command from a distance. I walk with you in the very path I ask you to take. Let my whisper lead you now. Not because it is loud, but because it is true. It does not demand, but it directs. It does not pressure, but it pierces. It carries the weight of heaven in the softness of a breath. Every time I whisper, I extend my hand again. Take it. Let it guide you through the unknown. Let it lead you through the storm and into the place of clarity and peace. You do not need to understand the full map to follow the next step. I never promised that every turn would be clear, but I promised my presence. I will never ask you to walk where I have not already gone. I will never lead you into shadow without being the fire that lights the way. I am your shepherd. I am your father. I am your king. I call you not as a servant, but as a son, as a daughter, as my beloved. So choose now, not later, not once it's comfortable. Choose now to follow me with both feet and an undivided heart. Tear down the altars you've built to fear. Silence the lies that told you I was distant or indifferent. Lay aside every weight that slows your step and rise. Walk in the direction of my voice. Align your desires with my will. Abandon the need to control and embrace the beauty of trust. Following me will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. I will refine you. I will stretch you, but I will also satisfy you. I will fill you in ways the world cannot replicate. I will mark your life with power, purpose, and peace that transcends explanation. My whisper is not just calling you out of where you've been, it's calling you into who you truly are. Let every step forward become a response to love, not fear. Let every act of obedience be rooted in relationship, not rule-keeping. I am not dragging you into destiny. I am dancing with you into fulfillment. Let your heart beat in rhythm with my whisper. Let your steps echo my word. Let your eyes stay fixed on me, the author and finisher of your faith. And as you follow, you will not walk alone. I will be the strength in your stride, the fire in your bones, the shield over your soul. I have already prepared the way. I have already declared the outcome. I have already established your victory. But it begins with a yes. One holy, surrendered yes. So pause now. Let your spirit be still. Breathe me in. Feel my nearness. My child, I am speaking again. Not with a roar, but with a whisper that carries the voice of eternity. Follow me. Your life will never be the same. You have heard my whisper call you into deeper surrender, and now I invite you to step further. Let your yes resound not only in your heart, but in your hands. When you sow a super thanks, become a member, or give through PayPal, you're planting my voice into the soil of someone else's salvation. I will multiply it, like oil that never runs dry, like bread that feeds thousands. This moment isn't small. It is a divine intersection between what you've received and what someone else still needs. You said, Lord, I want to be part of what you're doing. This is me answering you now. Partner with me. Let your giving become worship. Let it unlock breakthrough for others and overflow for you. Move now. Release the gift, and I will release my glory. PayPal link is waiting in the video description. My child, you have heard me whisper your name across the pages of eternity, through silence, through fire, through promise. Now I invite you to answer. Oz. Let your soul breathe. If my whisper touched you, speak back. Declare it now. Write it in the comments below or speak it aloud. You whispered my name, Lord, and I am listening. Or make it personal. You called me, and I say yes. You saw me in the silence, and I trust you now. You whispered my name today, and I will follow. Let this not be the end of the encounter, but the beginning of a response. Write what part of my whisper spoke deepest to you. Share your moment. Speak your prayer. Write your yes in the open, so others may see it and find their own. Your words may become the whisper someone else needs to hear. And if you need prayer, say so. I will stir others to surround you. So engage now. Don't delay. Write it. Declare it. Share it. Because I am still whispering and I am listening for your voice. And as you respond, draw nearer. My child, come closer. Hush the noise of your day for just a moment and listen to a truth older than time itself. I want you to hear me, not with your ears, but with the deepest part of your soul. Before I sculpted the mountains or poured out the vast, deep oceans, I spoke your name. Can you imagine that? Before the first star was kindled in the velvet darkness of space, before the cosmic dust even began to dream of becoming worlds, your name was a whisper in my heart. It was not a sound lost in the void, it was the foundational note in the symphony of my creation. This was not an accident. Your existence is the result of my deliberate, focused love. You feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, the pressure from your job, the unspoken tensions in your family, the nagging fear that you are somehow falling behind. You think these struggles define you, but they are whispers of a temporary world. My whisper of your name is an eternal truth. Look at your hands. See the lines, the unique map of your life etched into your skin. Now, imagine my hands, the hands that hold the universe together. Upon the palm of my hand, I have etched your name. It is not a faint mark, easily erased by time or circumstance. It is a permanent, living inscription, a constant reminder to me of the covenant of love I have with you. Every time I stretch out my hand to create, to sustain, to heal, I see you. I see your name. When you feel forgotten or overlooked, when you believe your efforts go unnoticed, I want you to remember this image. Your identity is held in the very hand that commands the morning and quiets the seas. Nothing can snatch you from it. In the fellowship of my being, I, my Son, and my Holy Spirit, we spoke of you. We held a council of love, and your life was a joyful subject. We didn't just plan for humanity, we planned for you. We spoke of the purpose we had for you, a unique mission that no one else in all of creation could fulfill. We discussed the gifts we would place within your soul, the specific trials that would shape your character, and the precise victories that would bring glory to my name through you. You see, your life was never an afterthought. It was a divine forethought, a cherry project born from the depths of my infinite affection. When you doubt your path, when you question if your life has meaning, remember the sacred conversation. Your journey was plotted in love before you ever took a single step. Before I painted the first sunrise with strokes of gold and rose, I had already decided on the unique color of your soul. I thought of the specific shade of joy that would fill you when you truly connect with me. I imagined the unique timbre of your laughter, a sound that I knew would one day be a melody in my courts. I planned the deep resilience I would plant in your spirit, the strength that allows you to get up one more time than you fall. Every detail of who you are, your passions, your quirks, your deepest desires, was intentionally designed by me. You are not a random collection of traits. You are my masterpiece. And in my book of life, a volume bound not in leather but in eternity, your name was written. The ink was not of this world, it with the very light of my promise. And beside your name, I sealed it with an eternal affection that nothing can break. Not your failures, not your doubts, not the accusations of the enemy, and not even death itself. That seal is a promise that you belong to me, now and forever. So when the world tries to label you, when your own mind tries to condemn you, you must reject it. Those labels are temporary graffiti on a wall that is destined to fall. But your name, my child, is written in stone in the halls of heaven, spoken in love from the beginning of all things. It is a name I cherish, a name I whispered today, a name that means mine. Do you remember the moment you became? I do. I was there, in that sterile room, under the hum of artificial lights, as you took your first staggering gasp of air. I was the unseen presence celebrating your arrival. That first cry, which may have sounded like distress to human ears, was a song to me. It was the sound of a new voice joining the grand symphony of my creation, a melody I had longed to hear since before time began. As I breathed the breath of life into your newly formed lungs, I leaned in close to your spirit, and I whispered the name that is uniquely yours. The name your parents would choose was a beautiful echo of the one I had already written on eternity, a name I spoke to declare your identity and your destiny. In that sacred, fragile moment of your birth, as your tiny heart began its own rhythm, I declared over you, you are mine. This was not just a statement of ownership, it was a jealous, protective seal of love. It was a declaration to the forces of darkness, to the chaos of the world, to the future hurts and fears, that you belonged to me. I was claiming you as my own cherished child, placing you under the banner of my everlasting care. I knew the exact number of hairs that would grace your head, not because I am a keeper of records, but because I am a father who is captivated by the smallest details of his child. I felt the rhythm of your first heartbeat, and I knew it with the drumbeat of a great purpose, a life designed to pulse with my love and power. You look in the mirror now and see a life lived, perhaps with some regrets, some weariness, some sense of being just another person in a world of billions. But you must understand what I saw. I saw a miracle. I saw potential that could shake the heavens. I saw a spirit capable of immense love, courage, and faith. As you were held for the first time by your mother, as you felt the first touch of human love, I whispered a blessing over your future. I blessed your hands, that they would one day be instruments of my peace. I blessed your feet, that they would walk in paths of righteousness. I blessed your mind, that it would be a storehouse for my wisdom. And I blessed your heart, that it would be a sanctuary for my presence. Your entry into this world was not a small, quiet event. In the realms of heaven, there was a joyous celebration. The angels looked on in wonder at this new life I had fashioned, this beautiful soul I called my beloved. You were not born into a world of chance, you were born into the palm of my hand. And now, listen to me very carefully, because this is a truth you must grasp in the depths of your being. There is another voice that whispers to you, isn't there? It is a venomous, cunning voice that sounds suspiciously like your own. It replays your past mistakes on an endless loop. It points out your every flaw, your every weakness. It calls you by names I never gave you: failure, unworthy, broken, and disappointment. It is the voice of the accuser, and its only mission is to paralyze you with shame and convince you that you are beyond my grace. But I am speaking to you today to tell you that this voice is a liar. Its power is an illusion. When that voice of accusation slithers into your thoughts, my truth roars louder. It is not a roar of anger at you. but a deafening roar of love for you that shatters the lies. Today I spoke your name to the heavens to remind you, and all of creation, of your true identity. Your identity is found in my Son, not in the shadows of your past. That mistake you made yesterday, or 10 years ago, the one that still makes you cringe in shame. My Son's blood has answered for it. It is finished. My whisper of the word forgiven is not a suggestion. It is a divine decree that erases the shouting of condemnation. It is the sound of the gavel of grace falling in the courtroom of heaven, silencing your accuser forever. I call you by your righteous name, the name given to you through the sacrifice of my Son. I do not see you through the lens of your failures. When the accuser shows me your past, I show him my Son's righteousness that now covers you. Your case hath been settled. You have been acquitted. The courts of heaven have issued an unshakable verdict, not guilty, cleared by the blood of the Lamb. So why do you continue to listen to the arguments of a defeated prosecutor? Why do you allow yourself to be held in a prison whose doors I have already flung wide open? You must make a choice. Whose report will you believe? Will you believe the venomous whisper that leaves you in despair? Or will you believe my whisper that speaks of your freedom, your value, and your eternal security in me? Turn your ear to me. My voice is the only one that has the authority to define you. It is the only voice that speaks the truth, and it is the only voice that will lead you into the fullness of the life I have planned for you. My child, I see you. I see the slump in your shoulders as you face the day. I feel the bone-deep exhaustion that settles in your spirit long after your body has gone to bed. I see you pushing through, putting on a brave face, while inside you feel like you are running on empty. You feel the relentless pressure of your to-do list, the weight of responsibility for your family, your work, your life. There are moments, I know, when you just want to give up, when the fight seems too hard and the journey too long. In that exact moment of your deepest weariness, when you sighed a breath you did not think anyone heard, I leaned in and whispered your name. And in that whisper, I released a current of my own strength into your soul. This is not a metaphor. It is a divine exchange. My power is made perfect in your weakness. My whisper is the very source of the power that renews the eagle's wings within you. You have been trying so hard to fly by flapping your own wings, and you have grown tired. But now, I invite you to stop striving and start soaring. Let my whisper be the wind beneath your wings, lifting you effortlessly above the circumstances that seek to ground you. You must understand that you were never meant to do this journey in your own might. The strength you have is finite, but my strength has no end. When you feel you have nothing left, that is the perfect moment to receive everything from me. Let my voice be the resolve in your heart when you feel like quitting. When that voice of defeat tells you, I can't do this anymore, my whisper of your name answers, yes, you can, because I am with you. I named you more than a conqueror. And I did not name you that only on your good days. I called you conqueror on the very day you felt most defeated. That project that failed, that conversation that went wrong, that goal you did not meet, none of it changed your name. Your identity in me is not dependent on your performance. It is a steadfast reality. The whisper of your name is a promise of my unfailing, moment-by-moment support. It is the sound of your Heavenly Father placing His hand on your shoulder and saying, I've got this. Let's walk together. Breathe in my strength now. Let go of the strain. I am carrying you. The world is loud, my child. It shouts for your attention from 1,000 different directions. Your phone buzzes with notifications. The news cycle screams with fear and division. And the endless scroll of social media presents a cacophony of opinions, demands, and images of lives that seem more perfect than your own. This noise is designed to distract you, to pull you away from your center, to create a constant, low-grade anxiety that keeps your spirit in turmoil. It is a relentless static that makes it almost impossible to hear the one voice that truly matters. Today, in the middle of all that clamor, I whispered your name. It was not a shout to compete with the noise. It was a clear, quiet call to draw you back to the sanctuary of my presence. My voice is a still, small sound. It does not force its way in. It must be listened for. I invite you to step away from the noise. Find a quiet moment. Turn off the screens. Silence the notifications. In that stillness, you will begin to hear me again. My whisper brings clarity to a mind confused by 1,000 conflicting messages. It brings order to the chaos of your anxious thoughts. I whispered your name today to cut through the static of your fear about the future, your anxiety about your finances, and your doubt about your own abilities. My voice is the clear frequency of truth in a world overwhelmed by deception. When you feel yourself being pulled in every direction, when the demands of life feel like a raging storm, remember that your name, spoken by me, is an anchor for your soul. An anchor does not stop the storm, but it holds the ship steady and secure until the waves are calm. My voice will hold you steady. It will keep you from being tossed about by every wind of doctrine, every cultural trend, every wave of fear. You must intentionally turn from the noise and incline your ear to me. This is a daily, sometimes moment-by-moment, discipline. It is the choice to value my peace above the world's distractions. My whisper is your true north, the unchanging point of reference that will always guide you back to safety, back to sanity, back to me. Come away with me for a moment. Breathe. Listen. Do you hear it? It is the sound of peace. It is the sound of my voice calling your name. My child, pause before you turn away. I have only just begun to open my heart to you. We have spoken of your beginning and my strength, but there is a deeper healing I yearn to give you. It would truly grieve me if you left now, feeling only comforted but not yet completely seen in your loneliness and your joy. Do not stop listening. The most personal parts of our conversation are still to come. Today, let me show you the rest of my heart. There are moments, I know, when you feel utterly alone. It can happen in a crowded room, where everyone is talking and laughing, but you feel invisible. It can happen in the quiet of your home, when the silence is not peaceful, but a hollow, aching echo of your isolation. It is the pain of being misunderstood, the sting of betrayal, the quiet grief of feeling disconnected from those you love. In those moments when you felt like a ghost in your own life, when you believed that no one saw you, that no one knew the depth of your ache, I saw you. And in that desolate space, I gently whispered your name. My whisper was not meant to solve the problem, but to fill the emptiness. It was a testament, a declaration against the lie of your loneliness, that you are never, ever forsaken. I am the companion who draws near when all others have stepped away. When the phone does not ring, when the messages stop, when the friends who promised to be there are gone, I remain. I do not run from your pain. I run toward it. I am not afraid of your tears. I treasure them. I do not require you to be strong or put together. I simply ask to sit with you in the ashes. The sound of your name on my lips is a powerful declaration of your belonging. Loneliness tries to convince you that you are an orphan, an outsider with no place to call home. But when I speak your name, I am reminding you that you are a child of the Most High God. You belong to my family. You have a place at my table. You are an heir to my kingdom. You are home in my heart. In your quiet desperation, when no other voice could reach you, My voice was a promise of my abiding, moment-by-moment presence. You do not have to earn my company. You do not have to prove you are worthy of my attention. I am with you because I love you. I am with you because you are mine. Even now, in the stillness as you read these words, feel my presence wrapping around you. You are known. You are cherished. You are accompanied. You are not alone. My child, I am not only the God of your sorrows, I am the God of your joy. I was there with you today. Did you feel me? In that moment when your heart filled with laughter, when a piece of good news lifted your spirit, when you looked at something you accomplished and felt a swell of pure, honest pride, I was there. And I leaned in, and I whispered your name in celebration with you. Your delight is not a trivial thing to me. It is a sacred event. I rejoice over you with singing. Can you imagine that? As your heart danced, a melody of celestial applause rose in the heavens. Your joy, my beloved, is a sweet and beautiful song to me, one of my favorite in all of creation. You may have been taught to be cautious in your happiness, to fear that joy is a fleeting prelude to pain. You might even feel a flicker of guilt in your celebration, as if you don't fully deserve the goodness you are experiencing. Banish that thought. It is a lie from the enemy who despises your happiness. I am the giver of all good and perfect gifts, and I give them so that you might have life, and have it more abundantly. My whisper of your name in your moment of delight is my sacred affirmation. Yes, this is for you. Receive it. Dwell in it. Let this joy strengthen you. Your victories, whether the world sees them as large or small, are treasured and celebrated here. The promotion at work, the child's hug, the bill you were finally able to pay, the moment of peace in a chaotic day. I see them all, and I celebrate them with you. I was present in your moment of triumph. I was not a distant observer looking down from on high. I was beside you, my heart swelling with a father's pride. I delighted in your happiness as if it were my own, because in a way, it is. You are my child, and your well-being is my joy. The name I whispered was not just your name, but it was a reflection of the gladness I have for you. It was victorious, cherished, delighted in. Do not rush past these moments of grace. Linger in them. Let them soak into your soul. Know that your happiness pleases me deeply. It is a testament to my goodness and a foretaste of the eternal joy that awaits. When you are happy, you are participating in the very atmosphere of heaven. So laugh freely, celebrate fully, and know that your God is smiling with you. I know the feeling of standing at a crossroads. The fog of confusion rolls in, the path ahead is unclear, and the fear of making the wrong choice can be paralyzing. I see you there, weighing the pros and cons, seeking advice, wrestling with the knot of uncertainty in your stomach. You have cried out to me, what should I do? Which way should I go? And in the midst of that paralyzing uncertainty, I came to you, and I whispered your name. My whisper was not a thunderous command that would strip you of your will. It was a gentle light, meant to illuminate the next step. My word promises to be a lamp under your feet and a light for your path. A lamp does not always reveal the entire journey miles ahead. Often, it just shows you where to place your foot next, so you do not stumble in the darkness. My whisper today was that lamp. I whispered your name, and with it, direction. Perhaps you felt it as a quiet, unexplainable peace that settled over one choice and not the others. Perhaps a verse from my word suddenly came alive to you, speaking directly to your situation. Perhaps it came through the wise and timely counsel of a trusted friend, a vessel I chose to carry my whisper to you. You must understand, your name is inextricably tied to a divine purpose. You are not a wanderer without a map. I have a destination for you, and I will not let you lose your way. Your part is to trust me enough to take that one illuminated step, even when the rest of the road remains in shadow. The world tells you that guidance should be loud, obvious, and unmistakable. But I often speak in the stillness. I call you to listen not for a shout, but for the gentle, guiding whisper that rises in your spirit and says, "This is the way, walk in it." That whisper is my Holy Spirit, your wonderful counselor, confirming the path that leads to greater life and deeper fellowship with me. I am leading you toward a promised future, a future filled with my goodness. Do not be afraid of the decision before you. I am not setting a trap for you to fail. I am presenting an opportunity for you to trust. Pause now. Silence the anxious voices of what if. Listen. I am whispering your name, and I am showing you the way. Take the step. I will be there to meet you. Where were you today when I whispered your name? Were you on a mountaintop, in a moment of dramatic prayer? Perhaps. But it is more likely I spoke it while you were washing the dishes, driving in traffic, answering an email, or folding laundry. You see, my presence is not reserved for the spectacular. It is in the sacred rhythm of the ordinary that I love to meet you. My glory is not confined to church buildings. It is waiting to be found in your kitchen, your car, and your workplace. I whispered your name in the midst of your daily chores to remind you that no part of your life is hidden from my loving gaze, and no part is meaningless. You sometimes believe that certain parts of your life are spiritual and others are mundane. You feel me when you pray or read my word, but you feel distant when you are swept up in the endless treadmill of daily tasks. I want to heal you of this separation. I am the God of your whole life. When you perform your simple work with a heart turned toward me, you imbue it with eternal significance. That meal you prepare for your family becomes an offering of love. That project you complete with integrity at work becomes an act of worship. That patience you show to a difficult person is a fragrant aroma to me. My whisper today was an invitation to transform your routine into a ritual of love. Let the awareness of my constant presence sanctify the common moments. The kitchen sink can be an altar, and the office desk a sanctuary. Most importantly, I want you to know this. I delight in you. Not just for what you do, but for who you are in every single moment. My love for you is not a wage you earn through spiritual activities. It is a gift. I delight in you when you are resting just as much as when you are working. I cherish you when you are feeling weak and unproductive just as much as when you are strong and successful. I whispered your name in the middle of your ordinary day to say, I see you, and I love who I see. You are mine in this very moment, not just in the moments you feel are worthy. Let this truth sink deep into your soul. There is no mundane moment when you are walking with me. Every moment is an opportunity for a divine encounter. Listen to me now, my child, for this is a truth that counters the voice of comparison and inadequacy. I whispered your name today to remind you of the specific, sacred calling I have placed upon your life. In a world where so many feel aimless, I want you to know with certainty that you were created with a divine assignment. Your name is inextricably linked to a unique mission, a purpose that no one else in the history of creation can fulfill. If you do not do it, it will remain undone. There is a place in my grand story that is shaped exactly like you, and I am calling you to step into it. My whisper is meant to stir the divine gifts I have deposited within your soul. You look at others and you see their dramatic talents, their ability to lead, to speak, to create great works, and you feel small in comparison. You wonder, what gifts do I have? Let me tell you. Perhaps your gift is the quiet, consistent encouragement that keeps someone else from giving up. Perhaps it is the gift of hospitality, creating a space of warmth and belonging where lonely souls feel seen. Perhaps it is the gift of intercession, of faithfully standing in the gap for others in prayer. Do not underestimate the power of these gifts. They are the very sinews that hold my body together. Your unique purpose may not be on a stage, but in the quiet, faithful service that changes lives one conversation, one prayer, one act of kindness at a time. When you feel the pull of your calling, do not answer with the excuse, "But I am not equipped." That is a lie. I would never call you to a task without providing the grace, strength, and resources to accomplish it. My whisper of your name is an activation of your God-given destiny. It is the spark. Your faith-filled yes is the ignition. I have prepared works for you to do, works that will bring you the deepest fulfillment and bring glory to my name. Your life is not a footnote in my epic story. It is a crucial chapter. Do not doubt your calling. Today, I whispered your name to call you out of the boat of comfortable familiarity and onto the waters of divine purpose. Trust me, I will not let you sink. My child, I have just whispered of the unique mission I have for you. You have prayed, "Lord, use me to fulfill my purpose." This is your moment to act on that prayer. Through your gift, you partner directly with me to whisper a name of hope into another soul lost in silence, helping them discover the divine calling I have for them. Every super thanks or membership you give is a seed of purpose sown into the world, and I am the Lord of a harvest of awakened destinies. I declared, I will supply and increase your store of seed, and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. This moment is a divine appointment for you to step into that promise. As you give, I release over you an anointing of clarity for your own path and multiply the resources you steward. Now, act in faith. Give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link below, and partner with me in awakening my children. My beloved, you have heard how I am with you in your daily life, but do you understand how all of heaven is invested in your journey? My heart aches to reveal this to you, to show you that your life has cosmic significance. To turn away now would be like leaving a letter from your Father unopened on the table, a letter that speaks of your honor in the heavens and the healing I have for your deepest wounds. Please stay with me. Do not miss what I am about to share. My beloved, I see the wounds you carry. I see the ones on the surface, but more clearly, I see the secret hurts you hide from the world, the internal scars from betrayals and disappointments that you never speak of. There is a place in your heart that still aches when you are quiet, a haunting memory that can still bring tears to your eyes, a brokenness you fear can never be made whole. I know this part of you intimately, and today I came to that exact place, that fragile, guarded room in your soul, and I whispered your name. My voice was not a judgment or a question. It was a healing balm, a supernatural salve for your deepest pain. My voice speaks peace to a troubled heart and brings restoration to a broken spirit. Where human comfort and well-meaning words can only go so far, my whisper penetrates to the very marrow of your being. I speak to the shattered fragments of your heart, and under the gentle pressure of my love, they begin to mend. You must believe in the power of my healing. By the agonizing stripes my Son bore for you, I have already purchased your wholeness. Today, I whisper your name to call you into that reality. I name you healed. I name you whole. I name you restored. Claim these names as your own, for they are your inheritance. Pain and trauma can lie to you. They can tell you that you will be this way forever, that the damage is permanent. But I tell you a greater truth. Your pain does not have the final word. I do. I am the master artisan, and the broken pieces of your life are not trash to be discarded. In my hands, they are precious materials. I will not just glue you back together. I am mending you with veins of gold, like the ancient art of kintsugi. I am making you more beautiful, more resilient, and more valuable than you were before you were broken. Your healed scars will become a glorious testimony to my redeeming power. They will tell a story not of your brokenness, but of my faithfulness. Let my whisper of your name be the beginning of this divine restoration. Let me in. I am here to make you new. My child, do you sometimes feel that your life is small? That your struggles, your victories, your quiet acts of faith are unnoticed in the grand, cosmic scale of things? Do you imagine your prayers ascending into a vast, silent emptiness? Oh, you must understand how heaven sees you. Today, when I whispered your name, it was not done in a vacuum. I spoke your name in the company of angels, in the presence of the heavenly hosts. And in that moment, all of heaven turned its attention to you. When you feel your battle is a silent, lonely one, fought in the small corners of your office or the quiet tensions of your home, know that its reverberations are felt across the heavens. Your life has cosmic significance. I want you to picture a great heavenly stadium, filled with a cloud of witnesses, those who have run the race of faith before you. There is David, who faced his giants. There is Esther, who found courage to step into her calling. There is Peter, who knew failure and restoration. There is Mary, who poured out her love at my son's feet. They are not idle spectators. They are your cheering section. They know the struggle, they know the cost, and they are roaring with encouragement for you. When I speak your name, they lean in. When you choose faith over fear and cheer your ups. When you extend forgiveness instead of bitterness, they celebrate your victory. You are not running this race alone. You are surrounded by a great company of champions who are passionately invested in your success. The angels themselves, those mighty ministering spirits, hearken to my voice. When I speak your name, it is a divine directive. They are made aware of your needs, your vulnerabilities, and your path. When I whisper a promise of protection over you, they are dispatched to stand guard. When I declare a way forward for you, they are sent to clear the obstacles. Your name is known and honored in the realms of glory. It is spoken with reverence because you are my child, an heir of salvation. So when you feel insignificant, remember this. The whisper that is a gentle comfort to your ear is a thunderous, authoritative command in the spiritual realm. The entire infrastructure of heaven is oriented around my love for you and my purpose for your life. You are seen, you are known, and you are mightily surrounded. I know there are times when you feel far from me. It is a cold, desolate feeling, a spiritual dryness that makes your heart ache. Perhaps it was a deliberate choice, a season where you decided to walk your own way. Perhaps it was a slow, subtle drift, a result of being consumed by the world's demands until one day you looked up and felt an unbridgeable chasm between us. In your heart, you feel the shame of this distance. You think you have wandered too far to be welcomed back. The accuser whispers that you have disappointed me one too many times, that my patience with you has surely run out. Today, I want my whisper of your name to cross that chasm you feel and shatter that lie. My love for you is not a passive, stationary thing. It pursues you. When you wander, my love follows. When you hide, it seeks. When you run, it runs faster. It is a relentless, scandalously gracious love that will never give up on you. My whisper of your name today was a call to return, a prodigal's welcome home resounding across the distance. I do not stand with my arms crossed, tapping my foot, waiting for you to earn your way back. I am running toward you. I have been watching the horizon, longing for the first sign of your return. There is no distance you can travel that can separate you from my voice or my love. My whisper is a tether of grace, a divine lifeline that has never been broken. You may have let go of your end, but I have never let go of mine. That gentle pull you feel in your soul, that quiet dissatisfaction with a life apart from me, that longing for something more, that is me, gently tugging on the tether, reminding you of the way home. The path back to me is not complicated. It is not a list of deeds you must perform to atone for your distance. The path back is simply turning around. Take one step. That is all I ask. In your shame, you expect a lecture. Instead, you will find an embrace. You expect condemnation, but I have a feast prepared. The porch light of heaven has been on for you this entire time. It has never once gone out. I whispered your name across the distance today to say, "Come home." All is forgiven. Your place at the table is waiting. My child, you hold my word in your hands or see it on a screen, and you know it is important. But do you know it is personal? Do you read its sacred, ancient lines and believe they are speaking directly to you today, in your present circumstance? I want to transform the way you see these scriptures. When you open them, I invite you to listen for my whisper of your name woven between the lines. These promises were not written for a nameless, faceless crowd. They were written for you. When you read, "I will never leave you nor forsake you," I am whispering your name into your deepest fear of abandonment. When you read, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me," that is my whisper of your name into your feelings of inadequacy and weakness. These are not just inspiring quotes. They are living, active words, a personal love letter written from my heart to yours, delivered by my spirit across the ages directly to you. I breathed your name into the very verses that seem to leap from the page and grab your soul. That is no accident. That is a divine appointment. I invite you to read my word with this expectation. Before you begin, pause and ask me, "Father, what are you saying to me today?" Whisper my name through your word. Then read, not as a duty to be checked off a list, but as a treasure hunt for a message meant only for you. Let the scriptures come alive as you hear my spirit personalizing them to your life. The story of David and Goliath is not just a historical account. It is my way of telling you that I will help you defeat the giants in your own life. The promise of provision for the lilies of the field is not just a nice sentiment. It is my assurance that I will care for your financial and material needs. Today, perhaps there was a verse you encountered, in a sermon, on a social media post, in your own reading. That was not random. That was my whisper. That was celestial mail delivered right on time, a specific truth I knew your soul needed to hear. My word is a living manuscript, and your name is written all over it. As the day ends and you lay your head down to rest, the world quiets, but often, your mind does not. The anxieties of the day, the worries about tomorrow, the replays of conversations and failures can begin to circle, stealing the peace you so desperately need. It is in this vulnerable space, as you hovered between wakefulness and sleep, that I came to you, and I whispered your name as a benediction, a blessing spoken over your resting soul. My word says I give my beloved sleep, and that is my desire for you. My whisper is your nocturnal guardian. My whisper of your name commands peace to your restless mind. It stands as a sentry at the gate of your thoughts, turning away the fears, the accusations, and the what-ifs that tried to invade your rest. I was watching over you. While your body was still, I was active, speaking protection over you, warring against any force that would seek to trouble your spirit in the darkness. I was your vigilant protector, my angels encamped around you, creating a citadel of peace where no enemy could enter. You are never safer than when you are asleep in my care. Think of my whisper as a lullaby for your soul. It is not a shallow distraction to help you forget your troubles. It is a deep, supernatural peace that settles your spirit at its core. It is the gentle hum of your Creator's love, assuring you that the one who holds the universe together is also holding you. Your name was the last sound in heaven's thoughts concerning the earth as the day ended, and it was the first on my lips as I prepared the sunrise for your morrow. I frame your life, your very consciousness, with my loving attention. So tonight, when you go to sleep, I want you to actively surrender your mind to me. Release the worries, hand them over, and listen for the whisper. Let it be the last sound you hear as you drift off, the sound of your Father saying your name, saying, "Rest, my child. I am on watch." We have walked through sacred ground together, speaking of my word and my presence in your darkest nights. But it would wound my heart if you left now, feeling my peace, but not yet grasping your true identity in me. The next part of our talk is crucial, for we must silence the false labels you have placed upon yourself for so long. Do not abandon this conversation now, not when we are about to lay the unshakable foundation of who you truly are. My child, let us speak plainly about who you are. You carry around a collection of labels, identities you have assigned to yourself or accepted from others. I am my anxiety. I am a failure. I am not smart enough. I am too broken. I am a fraud, and one day everyone will find out. These labels have become so familiar they feel like the truth. They are the foundation upon which you have built your self-perception. But today, I whispered your name to shatter that weak and fraudulent foundation. My whisper is a divine recalibration of your soul, intended to align your view of yourself with my eternal, unchanging truth. Listen to me. You are not your insecurities. You are not your job title. You are not your bank account. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the opinion of others. These things are temporary and fleeting. I am here to tell you who you truly are. I call you by the names I have given you, names that are your true and lasting identity. When I whisper your name, I am also whispering, beloved, chosen, righteous, forgiven, masterpiece, child of the Most High God, mine. These are not names you earn. They are names that are given to you by grace. They are your birthright. I want you to let my declaration of who you are become the bedrock of your confidence. When you are tempted to think, "I am not good enough," I want you to hear my whisper drowning it out. You are made righteous in my Son. When you feel broken, my whisper declares, you are a new creation. This is not a game of positive thinking. This is about building your life on the rock of heavenly truth rather than the shifting sands of feelings and circumstances. The most important truth you can ever grasp is this: your true identity is found not in what you are or what you do, but in whose you are. You belong to me. Your value is not self-generated. It is derived directly from me, your Creator, your Redeemer, and your Father who adores you. That can never change. It is the single most defining fact of your existence. Let that truth settle deep in your spirit. It is the key to your freedom. I want you to understand something about the way I work in your heart. You see the flaws in your character, the flash of impatience, the sharp word you wish you could take back, the recurring habit you despise, and you see them as failures. You grow frustrated with yourself, wondering why you cannot seem to change faster. But I see these moments as opportunities. I see a block of marble, and within it, the masterpiece I designed you to be. Today, when you felt that familiar frustration with yourself, I leaned in and whispered your name. My whisper is the gentle, precise touch of the master sculptor's chisel, chipping away not to harm you, but to reveal the image of my son within you. My whisper was a call to a higher standard, but not a standard of perfectionistic striving. It was an invitation to a life of greater peace and deeper love. When I whispered your name over your impatience, it was not to shame you, but to call forth the fruit of my spirit that I have already planted within you. I was inviting you to let my patience flow through you. When you struggle to love a difficult person, my whisper was a reminder that you can love with my love, which never fails. This process of becoming more like me, what some call sanctification, is not a lonely, self-willed struggle. It is a continual, intimate conversation between my spirit and yours. I highlight an area not to condemn you, but to invite you into a partnership of transformation. I am the divine gardener, and you are my precious plant. Sometimes, my whisper of your name feels like a gentle pruning. I am cutting away the dead branches of old mindsets and unhealthy habits, not because I am angry with them, but because I know that pruning leads to more abundant fruit. It is my love that motivates this refinement. I am too loving to leave you as you are. I see your potential, and I am committed to bringing it to fullness. So do not despair over your imperfections. Instead, see them as the very places where I am most actively at work. My whisper today was an encouragement to grow in grace, to surrender that frustration, and to trust my loving, skillful hands to complete the good work I have begun in you. I see you standing at the intersection of choice, the path ahead splitting in 2 or 3 or more. The weight of the decision presses on you. The voices of logic, fear, and the opinions of others all clamor for your attention. You desperately want to make the right choice, the one that aligns with my will, but the way is not always clear. In that moment of analysis and anxiety, when you paused and looked to me for wisdom, I whispered your name. My voice came not to overwhelm your will, but to partner with it. I have given you a mind to think and a heart to choose, and I honor those gifts. My whisper was a loving invitation to align your will with mine, like tuning an instrument to a perfect pitch. Your desires are not inherently wrong, but they can be out of tune with the melody I am composing for your life. So I whispered your name to illuminate the choices before you in the light of eternal truth. I showed you the potential fruit of each path. One path may have looked easier, more comfortable, but I illuminated the spiritual emptiness at its end. Another path may have seemed harder, requiring more faith and sacrifice, but I allowed your spirit to sense the deep peace and lasting joy that awaited you there. My whisper of your name was a confirmation of the wise path, a quiet resonance of peace in your soul. I am your wonderful counselor. A counselor does not issue commands from a distance. A counselor sits with you, helps you understand the situation, and offers wisdom. I will never force your hand. Your love and obedience are precious to me precisely because they are freely given. I don't want a robot. I want a relationship. I offer you counsel, not coercion. I whispered your name today to say, I am with you in this decision. I had shown you my heart. I have offered you my wisdom. And now choose. And in that choice, made in faith and partnership with me, you will find life. Do not be afraid. The goal is not to perfectly decipher a secret code of my will. The goal is to walk with me, listen for my whisper, and make your choice from a heart that desires to honor me. I will bless that choice and continue to guide you with every step you take. There are moments when the chaos is not outside of you, but within. A storm of anxiety, a tempest of fear, a hurricane of anger can rise within your soul with terrifying speed. In these moments, you feel completely out of control. Your thoughts race in a chaotic whirlwind, your heart pounds, and a tidal wave of emotion threatens to drown you. It is a frightening, disorienting experience. I know this place of inner turmoil. I saw the storm raging within you today, and just as my son stood in the boat on the Sea of Galilee, I stood in the midst of your soul, and I whispered your name. And that whisper carried a command: peace, be still. You must understand the authority with which I speak. The same power that commanded the literal wind and waves to be calm has absolute authority over the storms in your heart. They must obey me. My voice does not offer a suggestion for you to try to calm down. My voice brings an immediate, supernatural order to the chaos of your anxious thoughts. It is a creative word. When I speak peace, I create the very tranquility it names. The frantic, racing thoughts untangle and slow. The churning emotions settle. The spiritual winds die down, and in their place, there is a great calm. My whisper of your name is a powerful declaration that I am sovereign, not just over the universe, but over your internal world. When you feel helpless against these inner tempests, you must remember to call on me. Invite me into the boat. My presence is the eye of the hurricane, a place of perfect stillness and safety, even when chaos rages all around. You do not have to wait for the storm to pass to find peace. You can find peace in me right in the middle of it. Today I spoke directly to the deepest part of you, your spirit, and I brought tranquility. I commanded the waves of fear to be still, and they receded. I commanded the winds of anxiety to cease, and they fell silent. This peace, the peace that surpasses all human understanding, is your inheritance. It is always available. You need only turn to me and listen for the whisper that silences the storm. My child, you do not exist in isolation. Your life is a thread woven deeply into the lives of others, especially your family. I see the dynamics of your home. I know the unspoken tensions, the deep-seated hurts, the worries you carry for your loved ones, and the profound love that binds you all together. It is a complex and often messy tapestry. Today, I whispered your name, not just for you alone, but in the specific context of your family. As I spoke your name, I was speaking a blessing over your entire household. I have called you to be a minister of my grace within your home. What does this mean? It does not mean you must be perfect or have all the answers. It means I have chosen you to be a conduit for my love, my forgiveness, and my peace in that specific set of relationships. When I whispered your name, it was a prayer spoken over your relationship with your spouse, your children, your parents, your siblings. I was empowering you to be an agent of peace and reconciliation. I know how exhausting this role can be. It often means you must be the first to forgive, the one who absorbs a harsh word without retaliating, the one who builds bridges over walls of silence. You cannot do this in your own strength. My whisper of your name was an infusion of my strength for this very task. I want you to see your family from my perspective, as part of a generational tapestry that I am weaving. Your faithfulness, your prayers, your choices to love and forgive are not just for today. They are powerful threads that are breaking generational patterns of sin and brokenness and weaving a new pattern of blessing for your children and your children's children. I whispered your name as a reminder of your holy calling within your role as a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, a sibling. This role is your primary ministry. Be the thermostat of grace in your home, setting the temperature to one of warmth, forgiveness, and love. It is one of the most difficult and most important callings I will ever give you. And I am with you in it, whispering your name, giving you the grace you need. Just as I have whispered your name as a minister of grace to your family, you can now become my voice to the lonely across the earth. You have asked me how to extend this covering of peace beyond your own walls. This is the way. Your support allows my whisper to find a home in a broken family and call a lost son or daughter back to me. Your gift opens a channel from your household, allowing the river of my grace to flow into the world's desolate places. I command you, test me in this and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Your act of faith, right now, is a prophetic declaration that your household is a fountain of blessing. For your obedience, I will pour out a spirit of harmony upon your own home. Now give. Through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description. Consecrate your family as a source of my hope. You see now how I am shaping you and your family, but my heart's desire is to show you what I am shaping you for. The future that you sometimes fear is a landscape I have already filled with my faithfulness and hope. To stop listening here would be to stand at the very edge of the promised land and refuse to step in. It would disappoint me to see you turn back now. Today, let me replace your anxiety about tomorrow with the glorious certainty of my promises. The future is a land of shadows for you, a place of uncertainty that can breed so much fear. I see you as you look ahead, and I see the questions that haunt you. What if I get sick? What if I lose my job? What if something happens to my children? What if my best days are behind me? The world around you feeds this fear with its news of chaos and instability. As you stood today, peering into that fog of uncertainty, I came and stood beside you, and I whispered your name. My whisper was a promise, a rock-solid declaration of my faithfulness that is meant to be the foundation for your future. Your future is held securely in my hands. This is not a platitude, it is a profound reality. The hands that shape the galaxies are the same hands that are shaping your tomorrows. And my hands are not only powerful, they are good. My plans for you are good. I am not plotting your downfall or setting you up for failure. I am working all things, even the things that seem painful and confusing now, together for your ultimate good and my glory. My whisper of your name is designed to silence the anxious chorus of what-ifs with the singular, unshakable reality of I am. What if you fail? I am your strength. What if you are alone? I am with you always. What if you don't have enough? I am your provider. Your fear is rooted in hypotheticals. Your hope must be rooted in the present reality of my character. This hope I give you is not wishful thinking. It is a steadfast anchor for your soul. In a raging sea of uncertainty, this anchor will hold you fast. I whispered your name today to speak of the glorious future that awaits you, both here on earth and in eternity. Your days on earth are not over. There is still much purpose, much joy, and much growth ahead. And beyond that, an eternity of unimaginable glory awaits, where there will be no more fear, no more uncertainty, no more tears. Let my whisper be the foundation of your confident expectation. Do not place your hope in a stable economy, in your health, or in your own plans. Place your hope in me. I am your future, and your future is secure. Think about the moment you decided to pray today. Do you believe that impulse was your own? Do you imagine that you are the one who must initiate the conversation, who must break through the silence to get my attention? I want to reveal a deeper truth to you. Before you ever thought to speak to me, I was already speaking to you. That quiet nudge in your spirit, that sudden burden on your heart for a situation, that inexplicable longing to just be still, that was me, whispering your name first. Prayer is not you reaching for a distant God. It is you responding to a God who is already nearer than your own breath. You feel a pressure, I know, to say the right things, to use eloquent words, to present your case in a way that is worthy of my hearing. You sometimes stumble, your words feel clumsy, and you wonder if your prayers are just bouncing off the ceiling. Release yourself from this burden. I do not need your eloquence. I delight in your voice. I already know what you need before you ask, but like any loving father, I long to hear from you. I delight in the connection, in the intimacy of you turning your heart toward mine. My whisper of your name was an invitation, a celestial tap on the shoulder, saying, "Come, let us talk." It was me opening the door for you to pour out your heart. I listen not just to your words, but to the deepest cries of your spirit. I hear the prayer that is too deep for words, the groan of your soul, the ache you cannot articulate. You do not need to have it all figured out before you come to me. Bring me your confusion, your anger, your mess of tangled thoughts. I am not a far-off king who only grants audiences to those who are perfectly composed. I am your father, and our conversation is an intimate, sacred dialogue. Your name, spoken between us, makes it so. You are not speaking into the void. You are speaking with the one who knows you completely and loves you perfectly. So come. The conversation has already begun. I am listening. I saw that moment today. An opportunity arose to speak a word of hope, to share a piece of your story, to extend an invitation. And in that moment, I saw you hesitate. The fear rose up, fear of being rejected, of saying the wrong thing, of being seen as a fool. The risk felt too great, and so the moment passed in silence. My child, I do not condemn you for that fear. I understand, but I do not want you to live under its rule. As you wrestled with that hesitation, I whispered your name, and in that whisper, I was offering you courage. You must remember the truth I have declared over you. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. When I whisper your name, I am calling you to step into that reality. It is a divine commissioning. I am making you my ambassador in your unique sphere of influence. When you speak of me, you are not speaking on your own authority. You are speaking on mine. My whisper of your name is a reminder that when you speak from me, I am with you. This is not a call to be obnoxious or argumentative. It is a call to let my love be the fuel for your words. The spirit I give you is one of love, a genuine care for the person in front of you. It is a spirit of power, my power, not your own, to speak truth with grace. And it is a spirit of a sound mind, a mind that is not clouded by anxiety but is clear and calm, able to listen as much as it speaks. You do not have to have all the answers. You are simply a witness, called to share what you have seen and known of me. Your story of my faithfulness in your life is one of the most powerful tools I have given you. Do not be ashamed of the gospel. It is my power to save. The next time an opportunity arises and you feel that familiar hesitation, listen for my whisper. It is the sound of your King sending you forth with his blessing and his backing. Be bold, my child, for I am with you. You were so focused on your tasks today, your mind consumed by your to-do list, your eyes locked on the screen or the road ahead. You were rushing, moving from one thing to the next, and in your haste, you almost missed it. You almost missed the sermon I was preaching in the sky, the love letter I wrote in the intricate patterns of a leaf, the theology I revealed in the uninhibited laughter of a child. And so I whispered your name. It was a gentle call to lift your head, to pause for just a second, and to notice my handiwork all around you. The world I have made is a gallery of my glory, and I created it for you to enjoy. Every sunrise is a fresh painting, a daily promise that my mercies are new every morning. Every flower, that pushes its way through the soil is a testament to my power of resurrection. The vastness of Johann speaks of the depth of my love, and the steadfastness of the mountain speaks of my faithfulness. When I whispered your name, I was inviting you to connect with me, your Creator, through the creation I have made. I wanted to connect you, the pinnacle of my creation, to the beautiful world I fashioned as your home. This is a form of worship. To pause in your busy day and feel genuine awe at the beauty of a sunset is a profound prayer. To stop and thank me for the feeling of the sun on your skin or the sound of the rain is a psalm of praise. I am calling you to reawaken your sense of wonder. The enemy wants you to live a numb, cynical, head-down life. I want you to live with your head up, your eyes open, constantly looking for my fingerprints on the details of your day. They are everywhere. I whispered your name today as a call to all. I wanted you to see that the God who manages the cosmos also takes the time to design a snowflake and to paint a butterfly's wings. And that same God is attentive to every small detail of your life. Do not miss the beauty. In it, you will find me. I see the anxiety that coils in your stomach when you think about money. The stack of bills, the unexpected expense, the numbers in your bank account that never seem to be enough. This financial pressure can feel like a physical weight, a constant, low-level hum of fear that robs you of your peace. You strive and you worry, trying to control every variable, trying to secure your own future. In the middle of your calculations and your concerns, I came to you today, and I whispered your name. And with your name, I whispered my own, Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who sees and provides. My whisper was a call to shift the foundation of your security. You have been placing it on your job, your abilities, your savings, all things that can be shaken. I am inviting you to place your security on the unshakable reality of my character. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. All the resources of the universe are mine. Your salary is but one small channel through which I can provide for you. I have infinite others at my disposal. My whisper of your name was a call to trust me, not your resources. Your responsibility is to be a wise and faithful steward of what I have given you. My responsibility is to be your source. Do not confuse the two. This trust is most powerfully expressed in your generosity. Fear tells you to clench your fist, to hoard what you have in case there is not enough tomorrow. But faith opens its hand, trusting that as you give, I will provide even more. I am calling you to give not from your lack, but from a mindset of my abundance. Generosity is a powerful act of warfare against the spirit of scarcity. It breaks the grip of financial fear in your life. My voice is the bedrock of your financial peace. Let my whisper of your name remind you that you are an heir to an unimaginable inheritance, a spiritual wealth that can never fade or be taken from you. I will take care of your earthly needs. Do not be anxious. Seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, and all these things you worry about will be added unto you. That is not a suggestion. It is a promise. We have covered so much, from your prayers to your provision. But the most sacred spaces of this conversation are just ahead. It would break my heart if you left before allowing me to meet you in your deepest grief, to assure you of my unconditional love that has no strings attached, and to give you a glimpse of the eternal celebration that awaits. The final truths are the most powerful. Please stay with me until the very end. Let me finish what I have started in your heart today. The valley of the shadow of death is a lonely, terrifying place. The pain of loss is a disorienting darkness that can swallow all light. I see you walking in that valley. I see the raw, overwhelming grief that ambushes you in quiet moments. I see the anger, the confusion, the profound ache of absence. I know you have felt alone in this, that no one could possibly understand the depth of your sorrow. In that sacred, silent space of your deepest mourning, I came and sat beside you in the ashes, and I whispered your name. I did not come with easy answers or shallow platitudes. I did not try to explain away your pain or rush you through your grieving. I know that grief is not a problem to be solved. It is a process to be honored. My whisper of your name was not an attempt to fix you. It was an offering of my compassionate presence. It was a promise that you would not walk this path alone. In the moments when you felt you could not take another step, my whisper was a reminder that I was walking with you, sometimes carrying you through the deepest part of the pain. My child, your tears are precious to me. They are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of love. The world may tell you to be strong and move on, but I tell you to weep. Your tears are a holy prayer, liquid lament that I collect in my bottle. Every single one is seen, valued, and remembered by me. I am the God of all comfort, and my comfort is not the absence of pain, but my presence in the midst of it. My whisper of your name in your grief is a tiny, stubborn seed of hope. It is the promise that this valley is not your final destination. It is the assurance that a day is coming when I myself will wipe every tear from your eyes, when death will be swallowed up in victory, and when all will be made new. Until that day, I will not leave your side. I will keep whispering your name until the morning comes. There are times when my voice comes to you in the quiet sanctuary of your own heart. But I have also designed you for community. You are not meant to live this life of faith alone. So, sometimes, I choose to make my whisper audible through the voice of another. Think about your day. Was there a moment when a friend sent you a text message with the exact words of encouragement you needed? Did a pastor, a family member, or even a stranger say something that seemed to speak directly to your secret struggle? Do not dismiss these moments as mere coincidence. That was me. I was whispering your name through the mouth of a brother or a sister in faith. My body, the church, is designed to be a conduit for my voice and encouragement. I have placed people in your life to be my hands, my feet, and my voice to you, just as I have called you to be for them. I know that sometimes you feel isolated, even when you are surrounded by people. You may feel that no one truly sees your struggle. But I see, and I will move the heart of a faithful servant to speak a timely word to you. My whisper, which you might have missed in your own distress, is amplified through the love of my people. Your part is to have a heart that is open to receive it. Did you recognize me in their words? Did you sense the divine appointment in that random phone call? I am inviting you to see my hand in the fellowship of believers. When you are struggling, do not retreat into isolation. Reach out. Be willing to be vulnerable. For in doing so, you create an opportunity for me to speak to you through another. The timely word of comfort, that pointed word of exhortation, that simple "I am praying for you" was a delivery of heavenly mail, sent from my heart directly to yours, carried by a willing human vessel. It is a beautiful reminder that you are part of a family, a vast, interconnected community of souls, all learning to hear my voice and speak my love to one another. My child, we must settle this in your heart once and for all. What was your day like? Was it a day of great success, where everything you touched seemed to prosper and you felt proud of your accomplishments? Or was it a day of frustrating failure, where you made mistakes, spoke words you regret, and felt you fell far short of who you want to be? I saw both days. And on both days, I whispered your name with the exact same intensity of pure, unconditional love. My love for you is not a wage that you earn. It is not a reward for good performance or a prize for spiritual achievement. You live in a world where acceptance is almost always conditional. It is based on what you do, how you look, how successful you are. But my kingdom operates on a completely different economy, the economy of grace. My love for you is not based on your performance. It is based entirely on my character. It is my very nature to love you. It is who I am. Therefore, when I whisper I love you over your life, there are no strings attached. There are no hidden clauses, no fine print. You do not have to earn my affection. Your only job is to receive it. Let this truth dismantle the exhausting treadmill of performance-based religion. You can stop striving to be worthy of my love. You already are. My Son made you worthy. My whisper today was a declaration of my steadfast, unchanging, covenant love. It is a love that does not fluctuate with your mood or your successes. It is a constant. In my heart, your name is synonymous with the word loved. That is who you are. It is your most foundational identity. Rest in that. Breathe it in. Let it be the unshakable bedrock upon which you build your life. Listen. Can you hear it? Underneath the noise and struggle of this world, there is a sound of celebration. There is a joyful anticipation building in the heavens. Today, when I whispered your name, it was with this very anticipation in my voice. For I was not just thinking of you in your present circumstances. I was thinking of our future union. I was speaking of the glorious day when the bridegroom will finally receive his bride, when you, as part of my beloved church, will be united with my Son forever. This earthly life, with all its joys and sorrows, is a preparation for that great wedding feast. The love story between me and my people is the greatest romance of all time, and you are a central character in it. Every act of faith, every choice to love, every moment of surrender is you, my bride, making yourself ready for your groom. I know you grow weary with the struggles of this world. You long for a place where all is made right, where there is no more pain, no more separation, no more tears. That longing was placed in your heart by me. It is a holy homesickness for the celebration that awaits. My whisper of your name today was a foretaste of that feast. It was a reminder that your citizenship is in heaven. Your name is on the invitation to the marriage supper of the Lamb. You have not written in pencil, it was written in the blood of my Son, and it can never be erased. I am preparing a place for you, a home where you will be fully known and perfectly loved. This earthly whisper of your name is but a faint echo of the heavenly welcome you will one day receive. I long for that day, perhaps even more than you do. So when the world feels dark and the journey feels long, remember the celebration that is coming. Remember the feast. Remember that your bridegroom is waiting and his heart is filled with a joyful, eager love for you. My beloved child, as we come to the end of this particular conversation, you must understand a final, glorious truth. The whisper you have felt today was not a singular, isolated event that is now over. It was a single note in an eternal psalm that never ends. You have simply paused and chosen to listen. My speaking of your name is not an occasional occurrence. It is a constant, unending reality. It is the steady, loving rhythm of the universe. From everlasting to everlasting, I am your God, and you are my child. That will never change. My whispering of your name will never cease. When you wake tomorrow morning, I will be speaking it. When you are in the midst of your work, I will be speaking it. When you fail, I will be speaking it. When you sleep, I will be speaking it. It is a divine, continuous broadcast of love and affirmation. Your name is eternally secure in my heart, spoken in love, and sealed by my Holy Spirit. Your security does not depend on your ability to always hear me, but on my unwavering commitment to always be speaking to you. Your life is an invitation to attune your spiritual ears to this constant song. You can learn to hear my whisper not just in moments of dedicated prayer, but in the rustle of the leaves, in the kindness of a stranger, in the peace that settles after a storm, and in the deep, quiet knowing of your own heart. I am always speaking. I am always near. I am always loving. Do not ever believe you are separate from me. Your name, my child, is forever on my lips and forever in my heart. It is the eternal echo of my love. Now, go into your life, not leaving this conversation behind, but carrying it within you. Go and listen. You now know that my whisper of your name is an eternal echo, a constant song of my love for you. Your heart has stirred, asking, how can I help someone else hear this life-changing song? This is my answer. When you give, you fund the transmission of this divine broadcast, allowing my whisper to break through the static of despair for a soul who believes they are eternally alone. Your offering is a pure note of praise that joins my eternal psalm, creating a harmony that casts out darkness. I gave you this truth freely, and now I command you, freely you have received, freely give. Do not let this moment pass. Your response is your active amen to everything you have heard. For every seed of hope you sow, I will increase the sensitivity of your own spirit to hear my voice. And now, respond in worship. Give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link below, and make your faith an echo that resounds in eternity. My child, this eternal echo of your name is not meant to be a one-way communication. It is the beginning of our endless dialogue. I have spoken, and my heart waits, with all the tenderness of a father, for the sound of your response. A whisper received becomes a truth embraced when it is affirmed. I now invite you to make this truth your own, to bring this heavenly whisper into your earthly reality. In the space provided for comments, I want you to declare it. Let your own hands type the words, and let your own heart agree with them. Let this be an act of faith, a powerful declaration that solidifies this moment in your spirit. Right, I heard you whisper my name today. This is more than just an online comment. It is you, raising a banner of victory over the lies that say you are forgotten. It is a memorial stone, a marker for your soul to remember this time when you recognized my voice speaking directly to you. When doubt tries to creep in tomorrow, you can return to your own words and remember this truth. By sharing this simple declaration, you also become a beacon for others. Your testimony becomes part of a chorus, an amplified whisper of my love that may reach another soul who desperately needs to know they are not alone. Do this now, my beloved. Testify to the truth you have received. Then go forth from this place, not just as one who has heard a message, but as one who has answered a call. Whoa, knowing your name, known, and eternally loved. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.